Look at this beautiful coach. This is a gorgeous coach. I think it's called an Axis. You can see we've got everything all wrapped up. But boy, oh boy, is this sharp. Super sharp. So we're going to get a new roof on this thing. But fancy headlights and all. That's really nice. Let's go up and see what it's like up there on the top. All right, this is what we got. You can see it. So this was where the ladder was. I don't know if there's an issue here. It has kind of sulking in, but we got this. Shoulders are pretty common where they pop up. You can kind of see some little staples, screws coming up from here. So with that, got some solar. Got 3 solar panels. We got to make those up. You can see there's a hole there. So we'll have to make special mounts for these air conditioners, I'm sure. So because those ones, they screw right through the roof. And we'll see what's going on when we get those air conditioners off. But they literally take a bolt and just screw it right through the roof. And then they slobber some caulking on it. They put more on, more on. There you go. What? Yeah, just put more on. So this is all they do here. Same thing, more on. Oh, I can feel that right there. That's soft. That is soft right there. Right all in there. Yep. And the roof membrane itself doesn't seem all so bad. Let's see here. Let's find my fancy dancy knife. I want to see what's in there. I mean, we're going to find out when we start tearing it all off, but, you know. Ooh, that's soft in there too. Let's see what's going on. I'm curious. The people want to know. Move that roof. Move that roof. There you go. That's all rotted in there. You can see that. See? That's because the moron stuff don't work. You don't mount these this way. You'll see we'll put a whole bracket system and everything. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. That's just the way we do it. It's going to be awesome. I can't reach all the way over there because I'm too short. But, you know, obviously, look at here. Now, that's got to be something smart. That's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So now when the water does get in here, it gets trapped inside there. It's trapped. You don't do that. You gotta leave that open. That's the whole idea of it. Leave it open so the water can get out. Gee whiz. I don't know how people even think that's even a smart idea. Like, you wonder, I'll go, yeah, I'm an RE tech, just seal it up like that. I've seen a lot of chuckleheads on that YouTube. I mean, really, I have. And these are guys who claim that they are, you know, RV techs. RV techs. And I watch them do some stuff now. Gee whiz. Go back to flipping burgers, man. You're really not doing the job well, and you're costing people money. They're gonna have to do it over again. So, I'm trying to see if I can get this. Wow. I guess not. No kidding. Well, they glued it on there. I mean, it'll come off, but we're gonna have to get something underneath there to pry it. Wow. Yeah, that's how much booger they got on the thing. Then we got this big old satellite dish. I gotta make a massive curb for that. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, that'll take me like a day. Pretty damn near a day just to build a custom curb for that thing. There's a boatload of work on those. It's gonna take me a while to do those solar as well. I designed the whole bracket system up, the mounting system. Then there's boots and bolts and all sorts of stuff that go with it to make sure it don't ever leak and it don't go anywhere. So you need to have some elevation behind here or underneath there, and this has it right here. But on some of these other ones that I've seen that are really like through the roof, or they don't have enough gap in there, these generate heat, and what happens is it will start to disintegrate or basically degrade the roof system, the membrane, and you don't want that. These need to be elevated up, so we're gonna have a bracket that'll come up, and those will be elevated up probably a little bit more. I may take those brackets off or cut them down or something, because mine's gonna come up pretty high, and then the mounts we have will come up pretty high, you know, about almost 3 inches, I guess, and probably close to like that is. But that may be in the way for us to mount it. Yeah, that's only 2, so we'll probably be up another ½ inch at least that. We want to get some air under there, but like I said, I got to put all the boots and everything to it. And look at here again. Look at that. I've seen that so many times. I don't understand why they put stink pipes right there. You got your shit pipe right here next to a vent. Why do they do that? I mean, you got every place else. I know there's probably a wall right there, but you know, they could probably have moved it even out here. I don't know if I can. If it's possible without making a major process out of it, I'll do it. I have on a couple other ones. That's just gross. Who wants to smell all that stuff coming back in? You know, even though the exhaust fan technically is probably blowing out. You know, if you want to open it, get some air in there, and then, well, one of the big advantages to it though is if you're doing some heavy-duty business and it's really making your eyes water, you may consider going on a keto diet. Yeah, that may be just a sign from the universe. Go on keto. All right, let's get to work. Take this roof apart. Check out the way they mount this. Look at that. All I did. Go ahead, take it out. You can remove it. Go right through the daggone roof. That's it. They put booger on there. That's it. They slobber it with all that caulking underneath there. Look at all that rot. All that rot right there. All that rot right here. Then the solar panels, where they were mounted, they showed you all that. They were all rotted right there. It's all rotted. You cannot screw things to the roof like this. If that worked that easy, it'll do in the commercial roof. A commercial roof, like 70% of a commercial roof, okay, good portion, more than half, we'll say, depending on the size of the roof. But as a rule, you know, anywhere from 50 to 75% of the roof cost is detail. Can you imagine how much money these big warehouse buildings that have a lot of hoods that come through them, like bakeries, like McKee, or even carpet companies and manufacturing plants, how much money they would save if all you had to do was just screw things to the roof and slobber it with caulking? They'd save a ton of money. It's not the right procedure. So that's why these things fail. That's why they leak so bad. And this coach, from what he told me, this thing is over $300,000. This is a high dollar coach. I think it comes with a maid. I'm not sure on that one, but I think it does. You know, call up a maid service wherever you're at, and they just come clean up for that kind of money. They probably should have a butler and a chauffeur in there too. But so we're gonna get these ACs off, and then we got everything else. See, they did glue. I was telling you about how they glued the vents down. This is the vent cover. That was the vent cover they glued down. You see, that was the bracket that held the cover down. That's crazy. It doesn't work. You don't do that. All that water gonna just stay in there, you know. So yeah, I'm surprised there isn't more damage here, to be honest with you. We got a dent over there or something. We got to figure that out while we got that puckering going on. So straighten it out. But you can see around here, you got some water staining. Those plumbing caps, they don't work that way. Again, you got to have everything in a boot on a curb. That's the right way to do it. That's how you do a commercial roof. So, and I'm curious to know about this. A lot of times they'll have drains in there, and I'm wondering if that's a drain. Where it's been draining right here. Where it's been draining. I'm wondering, so I'm going to investigate and see if I see them under there, if they're hooked up or what's going on, or if it's been running on the roof. But even for a coach of this expense, they didn't even have gutters on here. You can't get gutters for over $300,000, I guess. You can't do that. You have to spend like $4 million. I don't know. We're going to obviously put gutters on, but that's just craziness. So you can see we got the awning all protected. We got everything all protected on this coach for sure. We do that to all of them anyways, not just this one. But that's just the way we roll. We want to make sure we keep everything just the way it should be. All right, more work to do. All around the air conditioners, that's all rotted in there. But then what they did, let's see if I can show you. I'm see if I can get the camera up in there, but they glued that all around that gasket. They just kept slobbering. They just kept slobbering stuff on there. We got to cut all that to get it free and pop it loose. And then they just had they had 2 screws in here, but yet then now we're finding there's one up underneath this cover that they use, and maybe even 2, but we're gonna take the cover off. We noticed there's one on there when we were trying to pull it up. Most of it's free, but we got a couple still holding us up. So we gotta investigate though. Well, we've got the roof, the new skin on here. We just glued a new roof deck on. You can see all the glue right there. Every one of these joints. The whole thing is all glued, not just here. The whole thing is. So now what we're going to do, actually you can see some of it's still up underneath here too. But now we just clean all this up and if need be, we'll sand a couple areas on here to make sure that it looks nice and smooth. And then after that, we've got shoulders go on and put a roof on here. So that's what we're working with. And it's coming along. All right, we got the passenger side. We've got it glued. So now we're gonna roll her out, and then we gotta do the other side. Well, we got her glued down. All rolled out, looking spiffy. Now what we're doing, we got the big mammoo right here. We're gonna roll it with that. We're just getting some booger off it. And we're gonna roll her on out. Roll these real good. You can see our protective strip up there. You can see the other one right here. You can see them all through the roof. So we got all those. And we're just gonna pack her down, just roll it nice and easy. And that's it. And then we'll get everything else together. It's on her way. It's on her way, but this color looks really good on this coach. Almost matches perfectly. Well, we get everything welded. All the boots welded here for the plumbing. Welded all the vents in. Then this is a lot of times on these ply foam roofs, they're so thermal tight that the condensation will be that's on the lens will also be on the underside of the lens, and it can never dry out. And what it does, it usually trickles down, and then it ends up weeping into either the roof deck, underneath. So what I did is I designed a system here. What that does, there's a trough right here. I'm gonna put a solar fan right here, so it'll always kick on whether they're around or not, right? And then over here is where it pulls in. So it'll pull in, it'll go right across the inner lens, and it'll come out and keep it, and it'll keep going until it's dry, right? So on the inside though, all this is just foam. Right in here, I'll take this apart. And the lens that I have, well, it's right here. And it's a smoke lens, it's translucent. It's not all solid color. So when you actually look down into the skylight area, you're gonna see all this opened foam in here. This one's in there pretty good. You're gonna see all that foam. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see the frame. You're gonna see everything. It just looks terrible. So I cladded it all in. And then obviously I need this hole here, and I didn't want to look at that either. So I made up these tiny little trim cover pieces that you see I pulled them out. So I'm gonna rivet those in. So now when you look down there, there's another one on the other side. When you look down, it looks so clean. It looks nice and clean. And then obviously we're gonna get the skylight on here. But you can see we put blockers in everything. Everything's got blockers in it. All the vents. We don't want trash going down inside there. So in the coach itself, it's all covered, interior and exterior. I mean, there's like, gee whiz, I don't know, there's probably about 20 pads that we threw in there on the furniture and the floor, everywhere. So, but I wanted to show you that little bit because I thought it looked pretty good. At least it looks clean. That's what I'm looking for. I just want it to look clean. I don't want it to look like, hey, we just slapped it together. Hey, thanks for your money. See you, bye. It's still got to look good. So like I said, I made this custom one here. And then I'm going to put the vent on there. I got some tape that I'm going to wrap around. Make sure nothing else. No, you can see the tape in there. See that foil tape? That's air conditioning tape. So even the moisture, even if it wasn't there, it would still keep running and running and running. The moisture wouldn't even have a chance to set. But that's just the way we roll here. We like to do a quality job. So you can see we got the air conditioners all mounted. Now, once we clean the roof off and everything, it's about ready to go. And this color is real close to this coach. It looks awesome from the other side. We'll see how good it looks when we get it outside, if I can remember to get a clip on it. But I still got a satellite dish going up there. And then once I get that on there, we're going to be good to go. So we're plugging along. Then I got the same color caulking that'll match this color here. So that'll look real good. Now we got to put our first strike on here. You can see some of we got the adhesive caulk behind this gutter rail. So you can see some of it bled over here, right? We'll cover all that up. But see, like right here, this white, it's all struck down. But anyhow, we're going to go over it. We'll go over the whole thing. You can see like right here. We got to put first strike on it. That's what we're going to do. So here's our skylight so far. So we got it in there. I'm going to clean it all up, and there's tape out here. We'll recaulk it. But this is not a DIY channel, but I'll give you this little tip. Do not screw these down. You got to get some good adhesive caulk, a urethane caulk, and you got to glue it down. There's a lot you got to do to it, but I don't screw them down anymore because these things, Like this roof, you can barely see it, but this roof has just a shade of a camber. So when we put the curb on there, if I tighten this up, this thing's really, I mean, I'm being dramatic when I do this, but it's going to have a slight curve to it. And also when it expands and contracts, it ends up pushing and pulling against the screws. And we've even tried, you know, opening these up to give it a lot of room. It just doesn't seem to work, so we don't do them anymore. We just glue them strictly down. That's it. So anyhow, that's again, this isn't a DIY channel, but that's a good tip for you. So we got all that all covered up. This is my fan right here I'm going to put on, and I'll get that on there. That's a solar fan, so it'll kick on, and then like I said, I'll have a little, what I'm going to have here is it's going to look just like a plumbing boot, you know, like a plumbing pipe, like what the one we got. See, I'll show you down this end. I got two over here, and then what we're going to do, so you got the pipe in there, we'll put that in that coupler, and then we put a little bell cap on it, a little cap on it, so you won't notice the difference. It's not going to look like it doesn't belong there. So, and now you can see how you can see inside there. See how nice and trimmed out it looks? That looks really good. That looks real well. I'm happy with that. So I just like it to look clean. Like you said, you would have seen all of the wood and everything in there. It looked like dog crap. So we don't want to do that. So all right, well, let me get going on these strikes. Like I said, you can see a couple here. And then I glue all these in too. These are all going to get glued in. We're going to use another product for that. We glue it in there. And then we also glue the end here, or we caulk the end so when the water comes off, if it's a hard rain or a hard rush, we don't want it coming back here and spitting out. We just want to direct it down there. Even if it overflows this way, I still don't want it to kick back that way. So, all right, let me get to work. This is my first strike. If you look at it, it's real narrow. The reason it's real narrow, because you get these little areas right here that you can't, if you just put a big wad of caulking on there, it's more going to be a surface instead of a push. I want to push that caulking in there. See, like this one down here, I want to push the caulking in there. So the way to do it is get your wrap out of the way, get the fan and stop blowing it. But you want to be able to cut the tip real narrow, and you want to angle it so it's more pushing instead of just coating. I want to load that in there. Then the second strike will cover all of this. You're going to push it right in there. And I'm putting some pressure on that tip to force it to flex, so it's more of a push than it is an overlay. That's what I'm trying to do. This color is real close. This color is real close to the, look how close that color is. It's almost a perfect match. That's going to look real good. So I'm going to get going and get the rest of it done. Well, we are just about done with our Aria. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous coach. One of the things I hate about when they do those RV roofs, they slobber all that dyed core on there and that self-leveling. Look at what a mess it makes. It just looks terrible. Terrible, I say, terrible. Even down here. So we're going to probably put a thin piece of vinyl on here, black vinyl. And we'll just have it kind of maybe come around like this. Just a thin piece to cover that mess. And then also up in the front, so we've got everything done. Here the air conditioner's running. We've got both of them going. We've got all our solar on. It's all mounted. I'll go over all that when I do the next clip. Got to mount that satellite. There's our satellite curb. Look at this one. That's terrible. And then up here is where they had the wires going to the satellite. So we epoxied that closed, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a piece of black vinyl up on here. That's all. There's nothing more we can do about it, unless he wants to have it repainted, but that wouldn't be necessary. Like you said, we'll come out here, and we'll just have it go up on an angle and kind of hook, almost like what you see the tape is doing. So we're probably going to do something along that lines, just to make sure, just make it look clean. Like I said, it just looks sinful to me. That's really wide. But that's how much they slobber on there. Put more on, more on. Gee whiz. On a nice expensive coach like this, all I need is another strike right here. And we already got our first strike. I already showed you all that. So I got to get my strikes in on my second ones and get that satellite set right here. Once we get that, and then put this on here, that's about it. It's ready to roll. Got to wash the roof down a little bit, but I'll show you all that when we're done. We are done with the Aria. This is a gorgeous coach. So, doesn't that look better? See? It looks a lot better. A lot better. So, here we are, RVRI. That's the date we put it on. We put that on there. One, we want to monitor the roof, see what it's doing. That's one main reason. And also, if he ever goes to sell this, you don't want someone trying to talk you down and say, oh, these RV roofs, they stink, and we gotta get a new roof on there, and try and talk them down thousands of dollars, right? So that's the other reason. He said, oh, no, I just had the roof put on. And we do extended warranties, see if he ever sold it. But so we got a 60 mil roof. That's what this is. We changed all the insert trim here. This trim, it goes inside the track and outside the track. It snaps in. There's a groove in it. And keep in mind, we don't sell anything. We fabricate everything here. But and then also, this particular insert trim, you can't buy it anyways. So I had a special order. I had to order 2 miles of it, like literally 10,000 feet, close to 2 miles. So this is the intake that draws in, and then it's going to pull up. That's the exhaust. So it'll pull through that trough and just kind of pull the air right over, so we can keep that condensation out. So we put our strikes down here. There's our second strike going down. You can see we have the air conditioner with a couple of stands in the back. We had them running the other day. I think we had them running when we were doing when I did another clip to get that counter flash on the front. There's a piece of foam gasket that goes up underneath. And then there's also like this side is kind of corrugated a little bit on the sides. But as you're traveling, you don't want water just coming up there and all the rain coming down. I don't want it to try to get inside that gasket. So that's why we put those counter flash on there. And it goes over, that counter flash goes over the other counter flash that we have in there. You can see that right there. See it? That little bit? It drops down. So it's going to go below the counter flash here, and it's going to roll out. So much like even like this one, these are just guards to keep the erosion off. That's really what it does. So if you have any splashing of driving rain, you don't want it to erode the caulking. So you can see how we got our solar on. This is how we do the solar. As you can see, we got mounts in here. These are secured to the roof deck, and then obviously that's welded and so forth. But we've got all our bolts in here. Everything's all bolted down and balanced out. I mean, this son of a gun isn't going anywhere. So I painted the bell caps. These are white. And then if these ever pop off with a branch, that water is just going to go down inside the pipe into your holding tank. That's all that'll happen there. So we got our antenna mounted back on. Everything is done. We had that up because we wanted to rotate it so we could align when that comes back and it wants to rest. We got to make sure it's all lined up before we weld the curb down. So, but we are done. Now in the front, we were working on that too. The front, those are the satellite wires. We pulled that out. We troughed them back over to the other side, and that boot over there, and that boot right there. So we got all those, but then it just looked terrible. I mean, this thing would just look like a hot mess. So, we just put this on there. It just makes the coach look a lot cleaner. That's all it's doing. I mean, we're not decal people at all, but it looks a lot better than what it did. Maybe a couple of bubbles in there that'll wash out because you have to use some water to get it applied, and they usually bleed out or evaporate off. And when it gets into the sun a little bit, and then we put 2 strikes going on everything. And then I just decided to use the black on here because it would match. It wouldn't be so obvious, right? So then we went around the windows a little bit. Went around the windows, make sure there wasn't any leaking going on there. And other than that, we are done. We are done. We got a plate on there, and that plate, when that comes down, it'll rest. So when that wheel comes up, there's a wheel on the other end of this. When it does, it won't kind of irritate that roofing on there. So same thing, got the counter flash right there, a couple of stands to balance it out. So everything is looking good. This is a gorgeous roof. There's a 60 mil TPO. This particular color is called slate gray. This is a special order color, and they wanted something that would match their coach. So they chose this here, and I think it looks real close. It doesn't necessarily look as close to this, but it does that right there, so it kind of complements it. And like I said, and that's about us. We are done. We are done. And like I said, that's the solar fan that'll kick on when the sun, obviously we don't have any sun here, but it would kick on and get all the moisture out of there. So these aren't DIY videos. If you get a couple of tips out of it, that's great. But like I said, we don't sell anything. Now the warranty on this is a 20-year roof system. So the way we work that, we like to see this coach come back in about 60 days, a maximum. So I like 30, 60 maximum. We want to go over everything, make sure everything's seated right. This thing's going to rack and flex and twist going on down the road. I want to make sure everything is seated well, all the caulking's well, everything is well, because I have to depend on, obviously, the products that I buy. And I also have to depend that the guys are doing every single thing. And if, you know, there is a little skip somewhere, I can catch it, because I have fail-safes, what I call fail-safes, that are built into it. So if I see one thing, I go, okay, it isn't a problem, because we got this, that, the other thing that'll prevent it from leaking. But I don't want to prolong it. I come back once a year, and every year you come back, we renew it. We renew your warranty every single year. So that's how easy that is. You can wash it with Dawn dishwashing. I keep saying Dawn. It could be any dish soap. You can pressure wash this roof. Real easy to maintain. But like I said, this is a 60 mil commercial grade. There's the same exact product you're going to find on a hospital, a library, an office building, that type thing. It's commercial. And I designed all these different curbs and everything to fit and function properly for an RV. On a commercial level, you can't get them like these. They don't make them. So I had to fabricate every single thing on here, and then obviously it got glued down and so forth. We built some new shoulders. So the one thing we did a little differently on this one here is we screwed them all down, and that's not going to be an issue. When they do these roofs, they have these big plates, and they put a screw down, and then the next sheet comes over, and they weld that whole bit, right? So it's not an issue, even that little bit right there that I can see, but it's definitely not going to be an issue at all. That being said, like I said, we want to thank the customer for bringing this coach all the way to us. I think he had a 6-hour drive to bring it to us, and we certainly appreciate the work, and we want to thank him for that. And we want to make sure we're doing them a good job, and that's why we want to see these coaches come back. We want to see them come back, because some things, like years ago, I wasn't putting these in. I wasn't putting these things in. But if I don't know what the manufacturer's defects are, I can't figure out how to correct it. So when we saw a couple come in, there's one that we posted, that should be posted, and it was on a Sunseeker we did, and what happened was all the condensation, and I showed it on the lens, and it drooled all the way down, and then the roof deck sucked it up. So it started rotting all that around there. And this is I started doing these, I don't know, maybe 7-8 coaches ago on these particular ply foam roofs. On a travel trailer that doesn't have a ply foam roof, those are a little different. Those are different. They don't usually have that issue, but not unless the lens is cracked or something, right? But because these are so thermal tight, the air can't move anywhere. It can't go anywhere. So that's my notification there. Something coming through, maybe an email. But anyhow, my point that I'm making is that they're so thermal tight that you cannot get that condensation to evaporate off. So that's why I designed these. But again, I can't know what to redo or to redesign or re-engineer if I don't see them come back, if I don't see a problem with them. So that's why I strongly encourage everybody to bring them back. Because I want to see if there's a problem or a hiccup with the roof, then I can get in touch with my rep and go, hey, what's the problem here? You know, what do we got going on? Because I want to correct it. You don't want to do these twice. So I am a proponent of inspections and preventive maintenance. It's these should be going around caulking everything, like your windows, door latches, ladders, you know, going around the molding, everything, you know. You want to do all that. All that needs to be caulked and sealed all around the whole entire coach. Everything does. So we sealed all this with clear because it would look terrible if we did it with another color. So I just left those clear. But like I said, you want to be able to go over everything, all your lights, like little louvers or vents or anything else you want to go over, because if it's got the slightest little leak and it gets in there, it can cause delamination on there. So then what we did on here, we did have the vent is white, and then when we caulked that, it had we could see the white stripe, and I just didn't like it, so we just hit it a lick with just to give it the color. Really is all we did for that, just to give it some color. But other than that, we appreciate it. And we'll probably see you on the next one if you're watching. If you like the video, from what I understand, the algorithms, if someone's searching for RV work, RV roofs, the more people that like a certain video, those are the ones that are going to pop up. So, you know, if you want to hit the like button, that's cool. Maybe someone else will find us. I mean, we stay super busy. Everybody seems to find us. And then all our information is on the card in the front. It says it right there. All our information in regards to, you know, our contact info and so forth, our email, it's all on the front of the card, and it's probably going to be on the back of the video as well. And, you know, if you need to get in touch with us, or if you have any questions about doing your roof. But like I said, these aren't DIYs, and I have some guys that are just, you know, I cannot explain the whole process. That's why I don't do it. There's a process of doing things. There's a certain products you got to use. There's certain prep techniques, and I certainly don't have that kind of time to keep going over it with this guy, and then go over it with another guy, and I'll be on the phone all day. So I wouldn't be able to do all that. And the stuff that we show you, this is the basic brunt of it, but obviously we don't show every single process that goes through, like mounting those bolts in there, like, you know, different prepping for the roof system and the caulking and so forth like that. I just wouldn't have time to do it. I don't have a videographer. We're just a small company. We're trying to get the meat and potatoes out. That's why we don't have one of those fancy intros. If we, you know, well, like I said, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one. And again, I want to thank the customer for bringing this into us. And I think this job come out looking just absolutely perfect. I really like it. I like the color too. So I want to show you this insert trim. This is your typical insert trim, and you can see how it just slides. All that does is just snap in there, right? That's all that does. Just like that, just slides in. And now, when you have, this is the gutter, when you have the gutter, the water can still get right in there, and it'll travel down through that little track. So we don't use this. So what we use is this. You can see it's got a groove in it. That's what I replaced on there. Obviously black, but you can see it's got a groove in it, and it fits in that little track. See the little track there? It fits in it and over it. So it's locking all the water out. So that's why we use it. Like I said, this you may be able to find the white on Amazon, you know. It's just insert trim, but you'll have to search around. I don't know exactly what they call it. Like I said, the black, it's AP Products sells quite a bit of this stuff here. It's not like this though. It'll be a little different, but it has the same principle to it. But that's like I said, there's this one. You can see the difference. Well, like I said, we appreciate you watching.